is shocking.
Caitlin Clark will be sidelined for at least 2 weeks
with a quad injury.
This has emerged. How Caitlin Clark got hurt.
He fouls her for the 4th time. It's cheating.
Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind the interest in the Fever and the interest in the WNBA.
Rookie Caitlin Clark was subject to several intentional fouls.
They said she'd change the game forever. Marketed as the future of the WNBA, Caitlin Clark arrived with hype, but nobody warned us the league itself might be her biggest challenge. It didn't take long for her image to shift, from rising star to prime target.
Many WNBA fans are calling out the referee problem.
The referees literally turned their back.
Caitlin Clark appears to be hunted every game. She deals with physicality that no other player in the league is dealing with. The WNBA not stepping in to protect their cash cow, their only draw, their only star, and this is the end result.
And it wasn't just opponents causing problems. What she faced wasn't typical rookie adversity. It felt calculated. There was a different kind of resistance waiting for her.
After every single game, WNBA players, fans, coaches are all complaining about the referees, and they have shown that they're not going to change anything because the referees continue to be horrible.
Night after night, Caitlin was slammed, knocked down, and left without calls. The referees watching silently as if the game was none of their business. What started as missed whistles became a consistent refusal to blow them.
Started as the occasional oversight quickly spiraled into an epidemic of no calls, letting blatant fouls fly while Clark hit the deck. Comment, protect CC down below to show your support.
Felines head coach Stephanie White, she was complaining about her team not getting a whistle, not being respected.
Then came the moment fans feared. Clark went down with a quad injury, and suddenly, every no call, every body check, every pleading look to the refs flashed before everyone's eyes.
She will be out for 2 weeks minimum following a quad strain.
Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham going to the officials and trying to, ask for an explanation of what had just occurred. That official completely stonewalled them.
It stopped feeling like bad breaks. It started looking deliberate, and just when the uproar hit its peak, new info surfaced, exposing serious flaws in how games are being officiated.
This is a WNBA problem, and as more and more eyeballs are watching this league, it becomes growingly an issue. The officiating feels you never have a true grasp on what it's going to be.
Turns out many WNBA refs were pulled straight from high school gyms, skipping critical experience in college or G League play. Even worse, they aren't always calling games based on their own instincts.
The referees are not listening to them. They're not listening to the coaches. They're not listening to the players. They're not listening to the fans. They're listening to their stakeholders. That's why I keep saying nothing is going to change till the mindset and whoever's running all of this, the stakeholders, governance, whoever these people are.
Caught in the middle of it all is Clark, where money, power, and ego intersect. Now, with fans rallying online, viral clips flying, and even insiders sounding off, the pressure is finally mounting.
If this injury does anything, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA, the Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear overnight.
There's even legal talk floating around. If the WNBA doesn't clean this up soon, their biggest star and cash cow could become their biggest problem. The real question, how far will the league go to control the very player they built their brand on?
Been cashing in on since day one.
Caitlin Clark is being roughed up, but the physical wear and tear on Caitlin Clark, I'm not surprised that 2 weeks into the season, she's already got an injury.
Caitlin Clark isn't the type to fold. At Iowa, she broke records and brought millions of fans to women's basketball. When she entered the pros, expectations were sky high for her game and for the energy she'd bring.
Everyone expected fireworks, not just from her game, but from the excitement she'd generate for a league that needed a miracle.
2024 was a year of unprecedented growth in viewership in the WNBA, a substantial amount of which can be attributed to Caitlin Clark, who took the basketball world by storm after an all-time college career.
Who had appeared in 185 consecutive games between her career at Iowa and her time with the Indiana Fever. 139 games with the Iowa Hawkeyes. She never missed one.
And initially, she delivered. Attendance surged. TV ratings shattered old records. But instead of celebrating her, the league seemed to welcome her with aggression and pushback.
Caitlin Clark, somebody who was responsible for 26.5 of all WNBA economic activity last season, including revenue from merchandise, ticket sales, and television.
Caitlin Clark out at least 2 weeks waited, but can the WNBA maintain without her? Can the WNBA pack arenas draw ratings?
From her debut, the tone was clear. It wasn't just basketball, it was warfare. Opponents treated her like a threat to be neutralized. She was hit, hacked, harassed, and the officials let it slide. Any other star would have gotten a whistle. Clark? Silence.
The referees just exposed their hand so bad, bro. I mean, they just didn't care no more. They didn't care. The world was watching how bad the cause was. They didn't care at all. They was going to get their issue off against the Fever no matter what. And I'm here to tell you, that's exactly what went down, bro. They have an agenda against Caitlin Clark.
The league kept repeating the same phrase. She'll have to adjust. But why is it always her job to adapt? Why is she the only marquee name expected to absorb abuse while others get star treatment? Then came the injury. After playing heavy minutes all season, Clark was sidelined.
Said the reason that people are complaining is because they haven't watched the WNBA before, and these are just new fans who don't understand. But there's clearly an issue.
This wasn't just a team issue. It hit the entire league, and fans weren't buying the bad luck narrative. To many, it felt like the natural result of months of unchecked hits and league indifference.
Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark has suffered a left quadricep strain and will be out for a minimum of 2 weeks.
This wasn't inevitable. It was preventable. But the league said nothing. No comment on the hits she took, no acknowledgement of the abuse. Just a star benched and a silence louder than any buzzer.
It's the Caitlin Clark disrespect. And what I mean by that is, you've got somebody who is obviously the most popular player in basketball. You got somebody that I would argue may be a top 5 most popular athlete in the United States of America. All right. You got this athlete in a league that nobody's been watching, never turned a profit, and your system is broken against that team?
Even her teammates saw the warning signs. Kelsey Mitchell quietly told her to listen to her body. That alone spoke volumes. The pain Clark was pushing through, most would have tapped out. Fans noticed. So did the media. And now the biggest question is, who let this happen? And who benefits from her absence?
But Kelsey Mitchell said even if there is a injury, hopefully it's just, like a little nagging thing. And again,
take care of your body and just make sure you I think recovery is everything. I think if you're in tune to your body, you know what you need. This is Caitlin.
Look deeper, and it gets worse. Many WNBA refs aren't just inexperienced, they're underqualified. Some skipped the standard ladder and are learning on the job during the most watched games the league's ever had. Their lack of preparation shows, especially in how they handle the league's most visible player.
For you guys, and they do not talk about it here. And that's why I also don't want us to personally attack some of these referees. I think they're doing their job. If they're hiring referees who basically didn't have any experience but high school refereeing jobs, and then they did a stint in the G League, like these referees actually aren't. I gained and reconfirmed with myself that not much is going to change.
But it doesn't stop there. Refs aren't making calls on instinct alone. A competition committee, made up of coaches, execs, and other insiders, helps guide how games are officiated. That's not neutral. These people have skin in the game. Insiders have confirmed it. Refs are being coached on what level of physicality to allow, what fouls to ignore, and what style fits the league's image. Fairness? That's optional.
It's fair.
There's a committee for stakeholders, coaches, governors, and general managers, and that is saying what style of basketball they want to allow, and the referees are following that law.
But it gets worse. These refs aren't even calling the shots. Behind the scenes, a competition committee made up of GMS, coaches, and insiders tells them how physical the games should be. That means calls are influenced by politics, not fairness. And insiders say it's real. Officials are being told what kind of play fits the league's image, not necessarily what's right.